Victor Wembanyama. You had a chance to see Victor when he came over to Las Vegas against G League Ignite, right?
Yeah, and I was there in France the week before, so I saw him play 4 times in a matter of like 7 days.
Wow. So what's your key takeaways here, man? What's your key takeaways when you watch this guy?
So honestly, and I may have told the story before, but my first time watching him live was on my wedding day. So, um, so yeah, he got in foul trouble in like the first like 2 or 3 minutes of the game, and I mean, my wife is great. Luckily, she, wasn't upset about that. It was an experience for her, but it wasn't until she watched the game on ESPN with Scoot, and in her mind, she thinks I was like projecting like way ahead. Like she was like, now I see why you wanted to check him out. But he's gotten a lot better over the last year, like
Mm.
a lot better. Like even if he progressed half of what he has already done, he still probably would have been the number one pick. But he's added so much to his game, or you can also say he's had a lot more freedom. But the stuff that he's done, like I saw a play today where he brought the ball up court, passed the ball, caught a backwards alley oop dunk, and I mean we've
Mm.
seen the ball handling and like there was a play that went viral last week where he brought the ball up court and a smaller guy was trying to pressure him and just kind of getting up under him and he was able to handle it and then pass it off, post up, shoot a turnaround. So I mean he just has so much to his game and I think he's going to look a lot better in the NBA. I mean we kind of saw it with the showcase game against the Ignite. Well, I don't think he scored 35 all season, but he had back-to-back games. I want to say it was like 34 and 36 or something like that versus Ignite. I mean, the longer game, better spacing, and I think he's going to benefit from superstar calls in the NBA, which in Europe they don't care. They don't care who you are. So I think he's going to be really, really good. I haven't even talked about just the impact on the defensive end. So I think he's going to be good. Now, the expectations are enormous. You know what I mean? Like the best prospect since LeBron James. If he falls short of that, people are going to heavily criticize him. But I think he's going to be great.
What do you make of him not playing in summer league right now? Do you think he should play? Do you think it makes sense for him to take the time off?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's like with Luca. People thought, oh man, he's running from it. Like I tell people that I went to see Victor play in September, and the showcase game was in October. So if he played in September, and it wasn't like their first game of the season, it was probably like their second or third week. That means their
Hmm.
training camp started in like August. So that means that's like 11 straight months of playing. And he played for the national team during the season. I
And
mean, I don't.
he's doing World Cup. He's doing the World Cup later this summer as well, from what
Yeah,
I've heard on the telecast today.
yeah. Like it's hard for people to understand like how long the European season is. I mean, I put it like this: the the NBA season is not as long as the European season. And even though he only played on a team that only played once a week, which, I mean, so it's not as many games, but it's still like a 10, 11 month season. And because they're not playing, a lot of times those teams in Europe are practicing 2 and 3 times per day because since they're playing once, there's so much importance on each game that coaches overemphasize practicing and the tactical stuff. So, but no, I just think that he should take some time off and rest. Same thing with Luca did a few years back. I know there was a time where Luca hit a wall and people were kind of down on him. And literally the same situation. Luca got drafted right after the finals. His team ended up winning the finals, and then he ended up using that off season to rest because he played Eurobasket the summer before. So a friend of mine, he's an international player, and I want to say he was probably like 30, and he had told me because he was so good at such a young age, he never had summers to work on his game
Mm.
because every summer you got national team, whether it's U14, U15, you don't get breaks. And so that kind of wears it on your body. I think he was in his early 30s and he was like 18 straight summers for my national team,
Mm.
which is crazy. So um it's a long answer, but no. I mean, if he plays in summer league, he may do one game, but why risk it?
Yeah.
It's just I mean, I get
Totally
it
understand that.
from the fans, but Yeah, why risk it?
Yeah, that's a lot of workload, man. And like at the average college basketball, they're done in April, March, April.
I
No,
mean,
well,
you're done in
March.
April if
Yeah,
your team
April.
goes deep.
Right, if they go
You know what
deep, if they go deep. So here he is in June. Then he's got to do World Cup. So yeah, I would have to think that he's going to take some time off. What about the size, man? It doesn't seem like there's much concern with his frame at this point. What do you think about that from a scouting perspective? I mean, 7'5" or whatever he's listed as, real thin, man. What do you think about the challenges he might face physically as he gets into the league?
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be some challenges. I think that, for one, I'm like I know his agent, and I kind of know a little bit about their plan. They've been preparing for this for a while, but their thing is, we've seen so many guys try to put on weights fast, and they end up messing their body up because they're trying to put on weight too fast. So their plan is to let it be gradual. They even told me that they don't even want him like really lifting weights, because they were like, imagine you got an 8 foot wingspan, right? And you're trying to bench press. You know how wide that is? And like, and they were like, even then that could like be bad just because the bar is not made for somebody with that type of wingspan. So they have like a really strategic plan. I saw like ESPN kind of broke down like he's got to get like I think it was like 11 hours of sleep a night. I mean, his like pre-game routine, I've seen it in person where they're like stretching. I mean, like stretching his toes out. I mean, they're doing all type of work on his feet. They've been working on his landing for a while. So, with all that being said, like they are gradually planning on him putting on weight, and so I think that was even one of the reasons why he made the switch from Asvel to the Metropolitans 92. So he could play only one time a week as opposed to playing multiple times in the Euro League and getting banged up and just the physicality. So it's kind of like we'll give you a year to continue to work on your body to prepare you for next year. So they have a long-term game plan for him. And I think that I know at one point he was like 7'2", 209 or 210. And I think right now, or last summer, he might have been like 240. So it's slow. It
Gradual.
just is not gonna look. It's like Durant. Like Durant is put on weight,
Yeah,
but
sure.
he's naturally gonna look thin. So
Yeah. Yeah, I was on with Bobby Marks. I was doing Ian Begley show earlier, and then Bobby was talking about says he's fortified with his whole team of physicians and physical therapy, all the things that he needs to get right. It seems like they have him on a real structured program to gradually build up, as you said, when he gets into the league, man.
yeah, I think more people should follow it. I mean, if you look at the way these contracts are set up, this group with Palo, if it's 3 max contracts, it's $1
Yeah.
billion. So you need to do
True.
all of that investing in I mean, agents need to invest in their client like that, making sure they're getting sleep. Of course, these guys are kids, so they're probably gonna, want to be kids in a sense, but it's really like $1 billion book of business.
Yeah.
And Victor and his team, they have invested and made the investments to make sure that he reaches that goal.
How do you stack up the league that he played in, the competition he played against? How do you weigh that into your scouting of this player in terms of what's translatable at the next level?
Well, one thing I will say is that he put up great numbers, and he did it without a point guard that could like take advantage of him being a vertical lob threat. So if you saw the game against the Ignite, their point guard was Tremont Waters, who's never known as a passer, and he's like 5'9". And so once you trap him, he can't make those passes and reads. So I mean, he was dominant, and we didn't even like get a chance to see him with like NBA spacing and somebody that could find him on lobs. So I said all that to say this: the numbers are good. The competition is good. I say it's better than college basketball. I'd say it's probably closer to maybe G League, around that range. It's definitely not Euro League. He wasn't playing in the Euro League. I know a lot of people think Euro League is just one huge league, but it's not. He wasn't in the Euro League. So I would say it's probably fair. I put it like this. I think if the Metropolitans played in the G League this year, they would have a better record than the Ignite had. And the Ignite did not have a good record. But their focus isn't on winning. Their focus is just on developing. So it's also a different mindset that goes into each game.